Peas and all my peeps, I'm Angrydel, and you may have noticed in the event store this week, this cheeky little mama has appeared, Harvester Fiona. So, if you don't know already, there's already a Harvester hero out there that was available in the Cyber set, Harvester Sarah. So, just to pre-warn you, in the gameplay footage, I'm going to be playing as her, because I don't own this hero yet, and I don't want to have to level her up when I've already leveled up my Harvester Sarah, who are essentially exactly the same hero other than the skin. So don't blame me for any disappointment if you wanted to see this skin in gameplay, but I will obviously be able to show you the skill set and how powerful she is. So she's actually a really good ninja, and I would go as far as to say she's the best DPS ninja in all of Fortnite, better than Swordmaster Ken, better than the corrosion poison ninjas. And the reason for this being is you can really benefit from stacking perks with her like no other ninja in the game. So she's got the normal sort of shinobi perk, smoke bomb, which I'm sure you're all au fait with. Mantis leap, which you can spam now, of course, because the people at Epic very kindly changed the cooldown on it and the amount of energy that it uses. 5 winds cut, so that's going to give me extra damage for swords, axes and scythes. But I should point out, Harvester Sarah, as the name might suggest, is a scythe hero, and if you're playing a sword on her, you're really missing out on a lot of damage. As you'll see in the next perk here, scythe attacks apply 30% snare for 2 seconds, but that's further buffed because with late arrivals, scythes deal 48% increased damage to slowed or snared targets. So basically, you're not going to get that 48% on your first hit because they're not going to be snared at that point. But on the second hit, you're going to get an extra 48% damage, which is huge. She's also got throwing stars, which is just, you know, not that handy, to be honest with you, but you can use it just to pick off the stragglers. Shadow stance, so every time you kill anything, you're going to go in a shadow stance, which just helps with damage resistance and sustain on your mantis leap. Medical fume, so smoke bomb will actually heal you, so it's quite handy when you're going in on the tanks just to lay down a smoke bomb, just again to give you some health sustain there. Anatomy lessons gives you 18% crit, an extra 18, well not 18%, whatever it is now, 18 crit points. So I would say this, because of that, and because of the fact that I'm going to be playing a support hero that also gives me that, there's no point in putting crit rate on the weapon itself. But I'll get into that in detail in a minute. Dragon Slash, which is a great skill to have on any ninja. She hasn't got any perks on it, so only sort of dives you forward a couple of tiles and does a bit of damage, but it's still handy for when you've got mobs that are sitting on, you know, reasonably low health. You can wipe them out quickly. And then Dim Mac, which Shadow Stance continually recharges the ninja's shield at 20% of its usual rate, which is fantastic because what it means is every time you kill something, your shield's going to be charging essentially for 20%. So that's really useful to have again for sustain. So I'm going to just show you my loadout. So as I say, I'm not playing as the new hero, Harvester Fiona. My apologies for that, but I don't want to have to spend the gold and level her all up again. And to be honest with you, I prefer this skin anyway. But as you can see, she's got exactly the same perks, exactly the same everything. She's the same hero, essentially, just with a different skin on her. And in terms of my support and my tactical bonus, I'm going with, they're both actually Deadly Blade ninjas, or the Poison ninjas, or whatever you want to call them. Now, the reason for that being is, in the support slot, they've both got anatomy lessons, which gives me an extra 18% crit rate. And then in the tactical slot, they've got corrosion, which basically means when you do land a crit, it does an extra 15% hit damage every 3 seconds. So essentially an extra 45% damage over 3 seconds, and reduces movement speed by 30%. So that's absolutely fantastic. For me, this is the ultimate ninja DPS loadout, but you know, if you've got something better, drop a comment below and let me know what build you're going with. But this is what I'm going to be using at the moment. And in terms of my weaponry, I'll just show you the Scythe that I've just leveled up. So this is a 106. I haven't maxed it out to Sunbeam. There's really no need at this level until, as I say, Fortnite release sort of the next area and it gets a bit harder. 106 is fine. I think if you go beyond that, it just becomes a little bit overpowered, if anything. Now, the stats might not look amazing because it's only reading 20,000 damage, but you've got to bear in mind it's got a 50% crit chance. I've gone with attack speed, so my attack speed there is actually wrong. It should be, I think it's about 0.54, which is essentially, I suppose, 2 hits a second. So you can double that up straight away for your DPS. And on top of that, the crit rate, you know, 1 in 2 almost is going to do an extra 210% damage, and that's before you factored in the extra 48% damage that you get on targets through the hero perk itself. I've got an extra 45% damage there on an afflicted target because this weapon causes affliction. Again, that's not reflected there, so that's further boosting my damage. And I haven't gone for any flat damage. It's kind of pointless. There's no point in adding crit rate because, as you may or may not know, it works on a scaling basis. So if I added crit rate in there, it's not going to give me the full crit rate, and it's not really going to massively improve my chances of landing a crit. So you're better off going with crit damage and attack speed. You can go flat damage, but again, you know, if you want maximum DPS, go for an attack speed build. If you want the weapon to last longer and to have better durability, then go with attack damage there. There's not a huge difference, but I tend to max out the damage on my weapons and worry about resources later. Now, I should point out, I went Shadow Shard on this, and I know a lot of you will turn your nose up at that because you do lose attack speed, which means essentially you lose DPS. Overall, you get higher DPS with Shadow Shard, but your weapons will melt very quickly. They're not likely to last more than 2 or 3 maps. But again, you know, for me, resources isn't really a problem, so I'd rather go with the highest DPS than anything else. Anyway, let's dive into a map, and I can show you how powerful this bad boy is. So something I just wanted to point out, now that I'm in game, so before when we looked at this weapon in the armory, it actually read, I think, 0.74 on my attack speed, but in game it's dropped to 5.7, so about 2 attacks a second. I don't know why it does that, it's just a glitch with the game, but just bear that in mind when you're building your weapon, that it's not necessarily going to reflect the correct attack speed in the armor. It's not until you actually get in game. Just a little micro glitch. I'm sure Epic will fix it at some point, maybe in 6 months time or so, knowing them. But anyway, let's go kill some stuff. Right, so I might as well have a go on this encampment. Now, it's really, as I say, this is a DPS build, so it's not really going to be that useful for wave clear, this build. You're better off going with a Dragon Ninja, because the Dragon Slash is obviously a lot more powerful. As you'll see there, that didn't even kill the low levels, so Dragon Slash isn't that useful. When you've got beehives and things like that, you can't really run in on them with the Scythe, because you're just going to end up losing too much health. And especially since I'm level 32, as I said earlier, sorry, level 82, I'm going to get killed really quick. Oh my god, I'm already on 1 hit. I'm just going to be getting killed really quickly by everything, so I have to be mega careful. But what I will do is probably just try and find some tanks, because this build is all about tank killing. It's not about wave clear. It does have really good maneuverability as well, because you've obviously got Mantis Leap. You've got a reduced cooldown on, well, reduced energy consumption on that when you go into Shadow Stance. So, I mean, really, you can just spam this skill when you're in combat. As you can see, it's not really going down there much. Now that I'm out of Shadow Stance, it does drop, you know, significantly more when I'm doing it. But I think you can still do about 6 in a row before that runs out. Oh, okay, there's our first Husky down there. Let's just go and batter these fellas quickly so I can show you how powerful this bad boy is. Now, admittedly, when it doesn't crit, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but when it does crit, I mean, look at the numbers. That's nearly 100,000 a slash. Look at it go, and that's the combination of my crit rate, the 48% additional Scythe damage on the second hit. It's just a bit of a monster, to be quite honest with you. And you know, I have to say, when it comes to tank killing, I think my preference is always going to be Urban Assault, because it's easier and it's less dangerous. But this just makes a nice change. And as I say, as long as you do land the crits, it kills things phenomenally quickly. I can't wait to find a Smasher, actually, and have a go on a Smasher with it, just to show you that. You know, it's not going to 2-hit things like some weapons will. It's not going to 2-hit the laser eyes, but it is very, very quick attack, so kind of doesn't matter that much. You can kill them in 3 or 4 hits, generally speaking. And if you do a little cheeky right click, this particular Scythe that I've gone with is actually quite good at wave clear, because it's got the whirlwind attack there. But I am going to have some problem with these laser eyes trying to use this. Normally I'd switch to my assault rifle, but for the intents and purposes of this video, I just want to use this weapon. Oh, see, I didn't crit much there, and that's why it just held me back for a split second. And I'm going to blame that on my death there. Let's quickly get back into this. I want to get that other laser eyes. You've got to be quick with ninjas. I mean, You know, particularly if you're going with a high-risk sort of DPS build, because ninjas and DPS to me is kind of, you know, it's not the best combo, as I say. You're better off going with a DPS soldier, whether that's shotgun or urban assault, just because it's safer. You can attack things at range and kill them quickly, but this just changes things up a bit. And when you've got ninja-only missions, so when you're looking at your quests and you've got one where you have to play as a ninja for 3 games or something like that, and you don't want to go with wave clear, you want to go with DPS, this to me is the best build to go with. Anyway, I really want to find I'll finish this off, but I really want to find a smasher. It hasn't reset, has it? No, good, excellent. I really want to find a smasher anyway, so let's go on the hunt for a smasher, and then I can show you quite how powerful this beast is. Fuck it, we'll do this little mob while we're here. I should be able to kill this fella in, there you go, 3 hits, pretty quickly. I think it's fair to say you could probably do him a little bit quicker with an assault rifle. But you know, as I say, this build is more, it's just to change things up a little bit. So I think I said this in my favourite builds video a while ago, that I do kind of feel that the ninja DPS class is a little bit pointless, because soldier generally works out better. But you know, that's just me. I play a soldier more than anything else. I prefer soldiers to ninjas. I don't play ninjas an awful lot, which is why this particular build is still at level 82 and not 106 like the vast majority of the rest of my builds. But you know, I have to say, having this build now and playing this one for a while, I'm really enjoying it. It's a little bit risky. I mean, it's not that consistent. The crits should be, as I say, around 50%, but it's a bit hit and miss. I mean, you know, you might hit 4 or 5 crits in a row and then not hit one for 4 or 5 attacks, which isn't ideal, but you know, generally speaking, statistically speaking, you should be landing them almost 1 in 2. So I'll go for these laser eyes here. I've got a bloody encampment right next door to them, but hopefully I'll be able to kill them quick enough to not have to worry about that encampment. Oh, what was that? 3 hits? Get rid of him, actually. Get rid of these shooty fellas, because they do a fucking shit ton of damage. Jesus! I am mega squishy, though, and I would have just got killed by that encampment, so it's not the end of the world. Okay, I'm just going to go and find a smasher. As I say, it's a little bit unfortunate I don't have the XP to level up this ninja build, but as you can see, my health in the corner there, 90,000. That is really, really weak. I mean, most of my builds at this level are kind of approaching 200,000 health, so what that kind of means for me on this particular map with this build is that everything is going to be raping me. I'm going to be not quite one hit by things. Actually, a smasher would one hit me, so I've got to be really careful when I'm fighting a smasher not to let it hit me. But with the combination of the slow that you get on this weapon, I've also got a run speed boost on this weapon. I mean, I'm almost running as fast as my hoverboard. Actually, I might even be running faster, jeez. So, you know, there is that. I've gone with maneuverability there. I could have gone, rather than going with that run speed boost on this weapon, I could have actually gone with damage resistance over run speed. But I just like the run speed. It just, you know, makes the game more fun, I guess, because when you're playing as a ninja, one of the important things that you need to do is basically catch up with people quickly. And yeah, okay, you've got Mantis Leap, you can dive straight at people, but having that run speed boost as well when you get in close, you don't want to be, you know, Mantis Leaping when you stood on top of something. So there is that, but still I haven't found a goddamn smasher. Right, perfect opportunity to have a go on a smasher. I can hear one lurking about somewhere. Okay, can't move. Oh, he's doing a fair bit of damage. Can't actually move. That was ridiculous. Let's see how good this is against the Mimic. Oh my god, when it crits, it does so much damage. This thing is seriously powerful. Bear in mind, this is 106. It's not a 130. Okay, I've got maxed out perks. I think I've got the highest DPS possible build, but it is working really well on the tanks. Here's another one. Oh my god, this is the only problem, like I'm solo health. Oh god, that was a terrible idea. He's killing shit quick though. I might have got raped there, but I killed that big fella quickly. Do you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to have a go on that smasher down there. This is an energy weapon, so I'm going to be losing a little bit of damage against an elemental, but should still do the job. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, well worth looking at this one if you are looking to add a DPS ninja to your collection book. Not, as I say, an amazing DPS hero. I do still think those soldiers are better, but she's not bad, and oh my god, I'm just getting killed by everything. But as you can see, I did do an awful lot of damage to that fella before he destroyed me. So, well worth investing in if you want something a little bit different, if you want a DPS ninja to add to your collection book. As I say, you know, I'm playing with the Sarah Harvester skin here, but Fiona's exactly the same. You might have a preference for her skin. I personally prefer this one, but you know, whatever. But yeah, it's just a fun build to go with. Oh, hello. It's just a fun build to go with, and you know, mixes things up a little bit if you do want to go on a DPS build. So anyway, guys, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think of the Harvester class, subclass in ninjas, and whether or not you enjoy playing as them, or if you've got a better build than I have. Do let me know in the comments below. And until next time, GG, well played, and laters fam, laters. Whee!